I apologize, but we actually need to recess the meeting immediately. I would like us to get back to this question. We will have more information for counselors in just a minute and for everybody in the room, but we do need to take a brief recess. We will be back as soon as we can.
That was the president of the Portland City Council. She called an emergency recess there because news was breaking on the ground in Portland that 2 people were shot by Border Patrol agents. Now, to be very clear, Border Patrol agents are different from ICE agents. This happened on the OHSU Adventist Health Medical Office building. And what's crazy is obviously this is just one day after ICE shot Renee Nicole Good. And, you know, what happened there was she attempted to run over one of the ICE agents. Well, the same thing appears to be the case here. But before we get into all of that, just take a look. This is ABC News. They were interrupting their programming for this breaking announcement.
Local and federal sources tell ABC News that federal agents shot 2 people in Portland, Oregon. We're learning that the circumstances right now are a little unclear, but the FBI is responding. The agents who shot, we're told, are with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The FBI will be investigating and lead as the lead agency. I want to bring in ABC News' Alex Stone, who is tracking the developments here. And Alex, I recognize that a lot of this is still very, very fluid. But what can you tell us so far?
Yeah, generally what we know at this point, Alex, is a short time ago, and the FBI is responding right now, that they will be the ones investigating this, that it was a shooting involving federal agents from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, not ICE, in the Portland area, and that there was a man and a woman, we're told, who were shot. They are being transported right now. There was a city council meeting that was going on for the Portland City Council. They have abruptly ended that, or put that on hold right now. This is all unfolding at this point, but a shooting has occurred, Alex.
And again, it appears that this happened because they attempted to run them over. My source for that is this alleged screenshot. And again, I want to be very clear. This is an alleged screenshot of the 911 call log. Now, I'm going to get into why I believe that this is legitimate here in a second, but let's just zoom in and read this. Right there in the middle, 33-year-old male, conscious breathing, problem, Spanish speaker, said he ran from ICE and was shot twice. Wife was shot once as well, just pulled over here, info slow, see related. My caller is Border Patrol, said they shot at a subject that almost ran them over, unclear if hit other subjects since they drove off in a red Toyota Tacoma. So again, just based on the call log, it does appear that this is similar to the situation that happened in Minneapolis with a vehicle being used as a weapon to attack these federal agents. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Daniel, that's just a screenshot. You can't prove that that's real. The reason I believe this is real, first of all, that screenshot, if you go back and thanks to reverse image search, you can tell when the original image was posted. This was actually posted before the news of the shooting broke nationwide. On top of that, I took a closer look at the social media account that posted it. PDX is the airport abbreviation for Portland, so PDX ICE Watch. This is an anti-ICE account. So they would not... I have a hard time believing, first of all, that they would create a fake screenshot and even put in some info that could be used to defend Border Patrol agents, right? If they were going to manipulate or just create something out of thin air, you would think that they would try to make it look as bad for the federal agents as they possibly could, but that's not the case. There actually seems to be exculpatory evidence in that screenshot. Second of all, when you take a look at any of these social media accounts, I mean, this one, they have over 635 posts. They're not just on Instagram, by the way, and so when I went on X, I couldn't find community notes on that, and I also, you know, the fact-checking system for a lot of these accounts is now pretty robust, and they don't really have a history of just creating stuff. They claim that they are warning communities about ISIS presence, and that appears to be what they're doing. And this, if this is legitimate, this also raises a question because the Portland police obviously has a leaker because they purport to get their screenshots and their news from people from within law enforcement. Unfortunately, it probably doesn't matter what the facts are because so many people have already chosen sides. The Democrats, they've already come to their conclusion. The Democrats, they've already issued a verdict. President Trump and his administration, they are guilty. They are evil, and everyone associated with them, including the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents, they're just as guilty and evil as well. And so it's unfortunate unfortunate, but I just have a feeling that no matter what facts come out about this Portland situation, it's just gasoline on the fire. Things were already tense within the last 24 hours because of the shooting in Minneapolis. And this, I just don't see how it makes things even better. In fact, as of right now, this evening in New York City, the protests are in full force and they were flat out chanting, "Hang Kristi Noem." So right there, you heard it. Kristi Noem will hang. They were going through various people of the administration. It's really ironic because just a few days ago, the left, they were oh so solemn and serious about January 6th. They claimed that it was an insurrection. And what was one of the big narratives about January 6th, right? One of the big narratives was that the crowd at the Capitol was attempting to hang Mike Pence and that they would have done so if they had the opportunity. Yet you have Democrat protesters organically, without any sort of interference or without any sort of, I don't know, plants in the crowd to whip them up. They are chanting, "Kristi Noem will hang," and they're saying even worse about ICE and President Trump. So it really is a volatile situation right now. And it's clear that for all the talk about January 6th, for all the talk about insurrections, it appears that there are some people in power in the Democrat Party right now that are inciting people to do just that, to insurrect against the Trump administration. During this speech, so this is again in New York City, they were flat out openly talking about how they are going to quote unquote topple this regime.
We must be much more outraged than we already are. We haven't begun to scratch the surface of how outraged we must be to topple this regime. Do you understand that? That's right. So I want you to go home tonight. I don't want you to be happy that you went to a rally, even though it's a good.
And you'll see there, they all cheered, they agreed, there was no one booing. The fact that someone said, "We're going to topple this regime," and it didn't shock or alarm anyone. Who are the insurrectionists now? Democrats? Of course, the shooting did not happen in New York City. The ground zero for all of this is Minneapolis, and the protesters are again out in full force tonight. So obviously, as you heard there, they are just screaming vulgarities. Personally, I believe we're really lucky. Again, it's unfortunate that this entire situation happened in the first place, but we're lucky that this happened in winter because I'm sure that the weather, whether it's the temperature or the icy roads, is making it harder for these large, disruptive, if not violent crowds to mobilize. And so I can only imagine how terrible things would be right now if this was just a few months later into the year. So again, I do think we're lucky because of the weather and all of this. Well, not all of these protests, not all of these demonstrations may be organic. It appears that some of them are being paid, or at least that there are networks being used to mobilize the troops, so to speak. And there's footage of a press conference that was being organized. Like one of the participants flat out said, "This feels like theater." But before we get to that, I would like to thank the members of today's Governor's Club. They are Jinda Manuro ×2, Life is Good, and Tesla Addict. So take a look at this moment.
So this is sort of our axis here, so we can kind of do an angle. I love how you. So you're in the front. You get the big one, and the rest of us take one step.
So basically, before the press conference even begins, he is organizing the so-called protesters and telling them where they should stand. That lady right there, actually, later in the video, she flat out says, "This reminds me of theater," just because of how coordinated all of this was. And even if, well, I just doubt these are legitimate protesters. I don't know about you guys. I have personally been to protests. My first protest was a Tea Party protest back in 2012. I actually went with my mom. It's one of my favorite memories. I mean, I have tons of memories with my mom, and it's not one of my favorite memories of us together, obviously, but it is one of my favorite memories, politically speaking. And, when I went to that rally, everyone made their signs by hand. We bought poster board, and we wrote in marker. Here, it's strange to me that everyone has printed out boards, and that so many of them have the same one, as if there was one person or one organizing force that designed something. I mean, that's not something that most people can do. I mean, that obviously is graphic design, whether it's Photoshop or Canva. That takes a lot of effort. Not a lot of people can put together a poster that looks that good that quickly and print it out. And so I'm just wondering, where did these people come from? And for them to be, you know, positioned strategically for this press conference, I mean, it just screams phony to me. As always, though, all of this is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view. And I would love to hear from you. So what do you think about the alleged screenshot of the 911 call logs? Do you believe it's legitimate, or are you a bit skeptical about it? Hey, it's okay if you disagree, but if so, let me know down in the comments below. And I will make a promise to you. If it comes out that those screenshots were fake, if it comes out that narrative is not true, I will issue a full retraction on this channel. I'm not afraid to do that. I've said again and again and again, I don't want views, I want trust. And so I believe that the best way to earn trust is to be transparent about where I get my information or why I believe something, which is why I shared my personal beliefs as to why that screenshot is accurate. And if it turns out that I was mistaken, I have no fear admitting that, because again, I think that that builds trust, and at least hopefully with the explanation you can see where I was coming from. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.